Ineos standards start now. There's no writing this season off. Erik ten Hag needs to make Champions League football. Financial constraints are that tight. It is a big pressure situation. In a couple of weeks, when everything is ratified, Ineos will be talking more regarding Erik ten Hag. We've got all of that. United can still make a signing. It has to work for us. Does that mean a certain superstar striker could be on his way to United if the deal is right? We'll talk about that. Gary Neville's been talking as well about everything else that's going on. And of course, we're going to bring in all of your comments on all of the topics that we are talking about this morning. This is your morning update here on Forever United TV. Welcome along, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Make sure you, first of all, please smash a like on the video, even if you are watching it after the live is finished. Get your comments in, and if you are wanting to comment live, then subscribe. That's the only way you can do it. But you love the content anyway, so you might as well just subscribe. Let's get into what is going on today with Manchester United. Well, obviously, build up now, halfway through the week, and the FA Cup is around the corner. So, emphasis on performance this season. Obviously, Ineos are doing what they're doing behind the scenes to encourage everybody, but we need a little bit more on the pitch, don't we? So, what is the message coming across? Well, looking into it from The Athletic this morning, that's where I'm going to start. I'm just going to go straight into, first of all, though, what Gary Neville said, because it does lead into what we're going to be talking about this morning. So, the quotes from Gaza this morning, and when he's been talking, are of, it looks like the start of what should be a much more serious sporting project within the club, in which the sporting aspect would be treated the same way as the commercial aspect. What I read straight away from that, and we're going to talk a little bit more detail regarding what the Ineos expectations are and what you think the expectations should be for Manchester United the rest of this season right now, is that even if Manchester United, although the ownership has just come on, everything is new, everything is fresh, the expectation level doesn't wipe out the season. There is no chance in hell that Manchester United are going to be forgetting or writing off this season. Expectation on Ten Hag is that we make Champions League. Now, commercial side of things treated the same way as the sporting side of things, and what Gary Neville's saying there, for me, that means Erik ten Hag is sacked if he doesn't get Champions League. That's how you treat it. If financial situation and the commercial side doesn't work, then you get someone else in. This is what the club has been running like, isn't it? And we spoke yesterday in detail regarding what Ineos' record is like at Nice. Firing managers, 5 of them before. They've now settled on Fariola, who is doing well. It is a cutthroat business, and Manchester United, if they want to be top dogs, I feel like this is the way it's going to go. Another quote that came out came from Gary Neville was, the triangle is essential in a football club. CEO, sporting director, head of recruitment. If you watch the overlap, he's big on this constantly. So, yeah, it isn't just him just saying it. He does talk about this constantly all the time. Manchester United have gone without a sporting director for 10 years, which is simply astonishing. This is one of the problems created by the Glazer family. That is 100% correct, to be honest there. That is fully down to the Glazers. 100% all the Glazers' fault in how Manchester United have been run sporting. It has been a focus on... There's been a focus on commercial side of things and nothing else, really. They're not really bothered about what happens on the pitch, is what we're saying, as long as the money's coming in and we're getting the sponsorship deals come through. It's why it was always one of them. It's like, if a manager doesn't make the Champions League, then they should automatically be fired. Well, within this new process, I think it's a little bit different right now, although I am giving Ten Hag, with it being his second season, the amount of money and the amount of players that he's got, they clearly showed last season they can make third in the league. So there's no accepting anything less than that for me this season. That's where I stand on it, and I think he should go if he doesn't make the Champions League. I think it's not doable. I think there is a little bit of leeway, and I may just be swayed into giving him a half a chance if he wins the FA Cup and we get, say, back in there close. I mean, if we get 5th, then we could actually scrape into the Champions League. So, for me now, with everything going on, I think that's where Ineos are looking at with this one. More quotes coming out from the whole expectation side of things with Ineos. Once the Premier League ratification arrives, with early February earmarked, Ineos representatives are expected to speak publicly, including on the future of Erik ten Hag. On the pitch, there is no sense Ineos is writing off this season. So Jim Ratcliffe and his team want Manchester United to qualify for the Champions League because of the prestige, but also to help significantly with financial fair play calculations. It says the tightness of the numbers is why there is so little movement around signings, despite loan approaches for Matthias de Ligt and Eric's Maxim Choupo-Moting being mentioned. There is a piece from Samuel Luckhurst as well from the MEN regarding United possibly bringing someone in January. We'll talk about that. 1 week to go in the window. Are things going to start hotting up in the transfer window for Manchester United? We've seen what's happening with Newcastle now. There's a bit of moving finally. Everyone's been quiet. So we'll see if anything happens in the last week of the window. But your thoughts, get them in on what's been said there regarding Gary Neville and his expectations and what is right. Does that give Erik ten Hag, in your opinion, that little bit of leeway, because he hasn't worked under this proper structure, and his tenure at Manchester United should be looked at differently and not just written off because this season we don't make the Champions League? Is he going to get that third year of his contract? Actually, I'm going to start a poll on this one. And guys, in the comment section who are watching this video later, please just drop your comment in and let me know on this one, because I'm just going to make it quite simple. Does Erik ten Hag deserve more time past this season? That, to break it down, does Erik ten Hag deserve more time past this season because everything has changed above him, and he at least deserves another season with that structure above him and a club actually backing him regarding players and what's coming out of these players? I mean, Manchester United, I feel, fully backed Erik ten Hag last season, up to a point where you're getting rid of club legends in Cristiano Ronaldo for how he acted. Now, beforehand, I would say if Ed Woodward was in the house, I don't actually think that Manchester United would have acted on Cristiano Ronaldo. I think the manager would have been in more trouble. So to commit to this culture and commit to what is actually right and the way that Manchester United want to move forward, which does look like it is going to fall into line with how Ineos' approach to it is, then I feel like with the likes of Sancho, they've backed him. There's no way that they can back down on anything now player-wise. It has to be the manager. But then the manager, if he wants that protection from the football club, I feel like his standards have to actually go up as well. So by that I mean, if the manager's expecting the football club behind him to back him regarding players and issues with players and dealing with the likes of Sancho, with De Gea, you could say as well, Cristiano Ronaldo, things like this, then obviously it has to work the other way. The manager has to give more to the ownership. The manager has to fall into line with the culture of what the football club is above him in the structure and everything that's being completely refreshed right now. So, in that case, for me, I feel like Ten Hag has to show Ineos, and I'll keep saying it, I'll keep going on about it. I do feel his biggest problem is that contract that he's got, the veto that he's got, and the restructure of that. So, I look at it and I go, unless he's going to fall into line with that. So, for instance, if Ten Hag didn't make Champions League football, but he came out and said, look, I'm willing to change everything, structural-wise, management-wise, how I work, what power I have in transfers, everything like that. If he was to change all of that, he may start turning a few heads and go, right, well, okay, we can see that he wants to do it. Maybe we should give him a chance. But I'll tell you something for nothing right now. If we keep seeing the same old dross on the pitch, that speaks louder than anything. It does. So, for instance, you'll see a change in me. When I'm at a match or when I'm at a football match, it is incredibly difficult to take the emotion out of how you feel because you're a fan. Everyone who plays for the club, the manager, when you see the managers come out and they're dead calm in front of camera and we're all frothing at the mouth because we just cannot handle our team playing so poorly, when he comes out and he's just talking like that, it's a different ball game. So you'll see a difference in me all the way through the week. In the week, I'm sort of looking at the positives of what we can. I'm trying to be balanced in my conversations, in my debates with other people on other topics. But when it comes to match day, you've always got that as a football fan. You've always got that added bit of enthusiasm that this is going to be the week when something changes. Right now, I'm looking at 2 weeks on the training ground. I want to see something different on the pitch. I know it's Newport, and we are probably going to control the game, and it is going to be a bit different, and United will win the game. But the one after that, the Wolves game, that's when I fully expect to actually see some form of footballing tempo, some philosophy, some style of play, something like that that's close to actually looking like we've got a plan. That's the main aim in all of this. And this is what Ten Hag, I feel, has to find right now, because as much as, like I said, the issue he's got behind the scenes with Ineos and the structure of things, I think Ineos, personally, actually want a fresh start with a manager as well. I think they just want to cut everything that was before and start afresh. Like, this is it. We want a new manager in. You're going to play this way. So I don't take this as a quote and say that I'm saying that Graham Potter should come in. Say, for instance, the Ineos went with Graham Potter, and Ineos said to him, right, we're working with you. It's going to be made very, very clear to everyone, including the players, that the structure is the philosophy, and this is Manchester United. It's not about a manager. It's not about what he does. We are going to play this way. We are going to work this way. This is how the system's going to work performance-wise. You go into that training ground, into that changing room. You've got that little bit of time. You tell us who is going to work within this philosophy, and we'll cut cloth according. I feel like that's how Ineos want to approach things. It's like, right, who is going to work for us going forward? And this is why, and I didn't mention it at the top of the show as well, guys, but this is why we're hearing the news regarding Rafa Varane as well, who is supposedly now not managed to agree a deal, a cut price deal, contract-wise. It may change. Obviously, there's a lot of time from now until the end of the season, but I do expect his representatives to be talking and pre-negotiating deals, as he can do with foreign clubs right now, with there only being 6 months left on his contract. How it was stated that his contract ran till 2025 and actually turned out to actually be 2024, and how that was misprinted or typoed or whatever is just embarrassing on its own. But we're hearing that nothing has been agreed yet, and it could be a case that Manchester United are just going to say 350 grand a week, wages gone. It's probably okay to let the guy go on a free transfer at the age of 31. This is why I said, if United actually want to make any money, some of the signings may have to be done in January. But now it's like a big contradiction in terms of what Ineos are expecting. I think Manchester United are looking at it and going, it's more beneficial for us financially to be in the Champions League next season rather than trying to make money off players now. So I feel like they're in a position where, and this is just my opinion, but right, it's about prestige. That's the statement that they've come out. It's about being in the best competitions. It's about competing at the top level again. So for this season and where we're at right now, let's just try and get back in the Champions League. And then in the summer, if we don't make the money that we want to off these certain players and they go away on a free, it's just falling in line with that philosophy and saying, look, we want performance-related contracts. We want to reward players that are performing well on the pitch. And when we do start competing for the highest honours and are up there again in the Premier League, you will be rewarded. That's why Barada is in. That's why we're going to get the right recruitment set up in place. We're going to be finding players that fit that model. And anyone that doesn't is going in the summer, whether it be a free transfer or we actually managed to make money. It looks like Ineos, from the message coming out, and obviously within a couple of weeks we're going to get the ratification and we're going to start hearing more from the horse's mouth rather than quotes that other people have come out with. So I think this is big, this is massive for Manchester United in the direction they're going. I am all for it. Not writing off the season is massive. So right now we're expecting a massive reaction from the players and the manager and everyone involved on the playing side of things. So buckle up. This could be one hell of an end to a season, or it could just be a big dipper going straight down with no extra track, and it just goes woo straight off into the oblivion, and Manchester United are forgotten about again for another season. That cannot afford to happen. The pressure from the fan base now is still not all there full support-wise for Sir Jim Radcliffe. We've seen it in our live chats and what people have said. The fans are not happy with certain players. They're thinking some have been there too long. The fans are not happy with the manager. They're not happy with how we're playing. They don't think it's value for money. There's no football experience. The only way that this changes, or anybody in that United fan base actually starts to come around a little bit, is if the football on the pitch is better and it's a bit more entertaining. You can get away with little bits on the side, and this is what the Glazers had with Sir Alex Ferguson. Success on the pitch masked over everything. But when you take that away, all the other minor issues, and some of them are not minor, some of them are big, start to come up and are highlighted even more. So Erik ten Hag has to make it on the pitch. Yeah, it's all on him right now. All of the stuff behind the scenes counts for nothing this season, essentially. It will just be a full-on scouting mission from now until the end of the season. Audit process to find out who can go, what can we afford to let go, things like this. And then, I swear to God, hold on to your hats when this season finishes and that summer window opens. Just get ready for, and I know we say this every single summer, the biggest summer in Manchester United's history. This officially will be, because it is the first one in 2 decades that we've not had the Glazers in control of it. And we are going to see some big moves, I feel. And it won't be the expected ones. I really think that some people are going to be surprised by what Ineos do in the summer. I do. I feel like we may be losing some big names, some big players, and I don't think they care. I really don't think they care. I think they're looking to build a team that's going to suit the manager. And if that is Ten Hag or if it isn't Ten Hag, then it doesn't really matter to Ineos. It has to work with them. They're looking to build a team that works and plays a certain way, I feel. And the manager has to fit in line with that as well. Give the video a like, please, guys. Come on, I've set you the challenge early on. Let's like the video. If everyone did like the video right now, we're going to surpass 100 in the next 1 minute. So let's please get on it. Let me know what you're thinking regarding all of the stuff I'm talking about right now, regarding Ineos standards, Ten Hag. Let's check the poll first of all to see where you guys are at. The question in the poll was, does Erik ten Hag deserve more time past this season? Now, just to put a little bit of context on that, if you don't make Champions League, I've said I think he should go. That's my personal opinion on this. All we're saying is, if he does fall into line with the structure of Ineos, does he deserve past this season, because everything's just gone a bit chaotic this season. It's hard to judge with so many things going on. Does he deserve a season, a full season and window under Ineos to see if he has really got it, or has he proved to you already that he just cannot get into these players? Because I tell you something now, Ten Hag against the players is one thing. Ten Hag and Ineos and the structure behind him against the players, you're getting a little bit more bullish, and a manager can feel confident. Right now, Manchester United managers over the last decades have been always looking over the back. They don't know who is on side at the football club. They don't know if the CEO's behind them. They don't know if the recruitment side is fully there. They don't know if his thoughts are being listened to at all. And if a player kicks off, like Gary Neville said there, when the commercial side is bigger than the sporting side of things, and that's more important, i.e. Marcus Rashford staying, contract, Anthony Martial, the fans have got a song about him, he sells a lot of shirts, it doesn't matter what I say, football's not going to change because the commercial side is overpowering that. Well, now it's not. Is that where you would say, all right, I'll give Erik ten Hag a little bit of leeway? Do I want to see Erik ten Hag being fully backed and secure with the new structure of Ineos behind him? That's the context in what I'm getting. Does Erik ten Hag deserve more time past this season? 56% of you guys are actually saying yes, he does. That kind of did surprise me a bit. 100 likes just in the bag. Thank you very much, guys, as well. I'm going to stop the live comment section now. I've scrolled right back. So these bums have had 3 weeks off. So let's see if they can play for 90 minutes. And it's Newport. Sim. Could not have said it any better, my friend. It is 3 weeks off, out in the sun, warm weather training, coming back at the end of January to play a 4th round of FA Cup tie against Newport. Honestly, you couldn't have scripted that as to being the perfect start, really, to the next phase of football after the winter break, could you? The baptism of fire will be the Wolves away game on a Thursday bleeding night. Wow. I mean, never heard of anything Thursday night football on Premier League. We came out of the Europa League thinking we were going to lose Thursday night football, and now we've got Premier League games on it. So yeah, Alex says you have to change tactically when you get overrun in front of your defence. and your attacking players struggling to find the net, there has to be a plan B, Alex. Yes, dead right. Kaz says, I disagree personally. Watch party. Or someone else. So another conversation that was going on, but the point of Kaz's comment here was, I think Ranić was speaking a lot of truths with his analysis. I think United should give Erik ten Hag the rest of the season and see how we get on. After the rest of the season, yeah, until we don't qualify for the Champions League. When it becomes mathematically impossible to qualify for the Champions League, I think we might see movement. I do. I think we might see movement then. Joe Blackman says, if you haven't already, please drop a like on the video. It really helps the channel grow. I'm sure Adam appreciates the love too. Joe Blackman, I really do appreciate the love. Thank you very much. And I love that you've smashed that into capitals so everyone can see it, with the emoji and love art as well. Nice one. Stop sacking our managers is Michael Jones's strict, straight to the point message there. Yep, I know, we're not sacking him yet, but we're giving him time. Every manager gets 2 years. If you're not seeing anything different in 2 years, then you're starting to worry. You really are. Nearly any manager that makes it has already started getting success after 2 years, or you can see what's actually happening. Even at the back end of last year, it looked like we'd lost our way. It looked like we were just crawling over the line, like accepted, we've won a trophy. Woohoo, that's it. We can put our feet up for a little bit. It doesn't work like that. I remember Ben Foster talking about when he won the League Cup under Sir Alex Ferguson. I think he was talking a few years later about it, and he was actually on comms when another team was playing, and I think it was Birmingham when they beat Arsenal in the final, and he said, oh no, he was actually playing for Arsenal. Playing for Birmingham at the time, that's what it was. And he said it was absolutely really nice. We could go out and celebrate winning a trophy. We could go out, have a few beers, have a day off the next day. When Manchester United won the League Cup under Sir Alex Ferguson, it was crap. Beer in the changing room, back on the bus, boys, back to business, got more important matters at hand. It's that was like the standard. It's like, right, okay, yeah, won the first trophy possible this year. Well done, lads. That's your expectation level. That's borderline baseline. No less than that. And you move on from there, and everything else there is what you're going to be actually judged on by the end of the season. So the difference is there. It's like we cannot drop down into thinking, hey, League Cup, that's all right. Nah. Now, the only way that Ten Hag improves on that is if he is the first manager ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left to qualify for the Champions League 2 years in a row. And the last person to it was Jose, but he did it through winning the Europa League and then finishing second. So actually being consistently in that top four, no manager since Sir Alex has been able to do that. I think Ten Hag would actually turn heads if he managed to do that, especially now being 11 points away from Villa in fourth. It's a big ask that. We need to go on an amazing run. I think a 10-game winning run to actually bring us straight back up into the fight. But I'm looking at the games ahead and I'm not confident. I need to start seeing things on the pitch to give me hope that this team can actually turn things around. That's where we're at with it. There is no good. There is no good with the manager. Poor in-game management, awful tactics, shocking football, shocking man manager. Get him out. I think H. Paul is not really liking Ten Hag. That's the message I'm getting there. Gray says, that's my point. If defenders are SHIT, because it is early morning, actually kids are in school. If defenders are shit, you have to score more than you leak. So change the forwards up. Score more than your opponents. It's always a way of winning, isn't it? I think we've got a super chat in there as well from Shane O'Reilly. Thank you very much, Shane. Any chance this summer Rashford out, Osherman in? I think there's every chance that could happen. But until we start hearing from Ineos and their plans, and like I said, this is why, and everyone will always just come out, oh, we've said it before, it's what's always happened. We always talk about being the biggest summer ever. Opposition fans will come in and say, you say this every single summer. Well, this is, and this is why, like that comment says there from Shane Riley, actually holds a little bit more clout right now, because there is a chance that Ineos can just rip up the script and say, sorry, Rasha, you're just not cutting it for us. For the benefit of the football club, we are going to let you go and invest the money back into the squad. Oh, that would send shockwaves through the Manchester United fan base. It really would. There is some news just coming out. I don't know if this is true or not. Manchester United are planning to start talks to extend the contract of Scott McTominay until 2028. Like, I don't know. I hope that's an aggregator account that is just absolutely spreading complete BS, because if that is the case, then I've not really got much hope going forward. Oh God, that's just been sent to me now, so I don't know if that is true or not. But you've got a let's not forget. Let's forget that actually came through to me then, and just keep talking in a positive way, Adam. Like, we are actually moving in the right direction. But like I said, even McTominay, Rashford, these so-called people that have been here way too long, if they were to just go into this summer and rip up the old script, it would seriously get so many people on board, thinking that this is the change. This really is the change. If they're planning on keeping Scott McTominay, for instance, like that comment came up there, and he was acceptant of being maybe fourth choice midfielder in that one position he can play, and he was all right with that because United can't really get much money for him, then fair enough, there you go. But right now, he is going to be, in the summer, behind so many different players. Would you accept that? Are you happy being... If Scott McTominay's happy with that, I'm happy with that. I don't mind Scott being third or fourth choice on the list. I think he's an alright super sub. Not so much super sub, but I think he's an impact sub. He definitely gives us something when he comes on, and something a little bit different. Last throw of the dice. And I'm happy to accept that, but he's never going to be a starter for Manchester United. I expect him to appear in maybe 1 in every 3 games as a sub. That's where I see Scott McTominay. And I'm trying to build a defence while trying not to actually throw the guy completely under the bus, because he has had moments for us, but I just don't rate him. I don't rate him as a first team player. I rate him as a pro, and I rate him as someone who I think has got the best interest of the club at heart. I do. I think he has got that, and I think he is beneficial to the club in some ways, but not on the pitch. Not on the pitch. It depends if the right offer comes in. If someone came in and offered 40 million... Sorry, someone came in the summer and offered 30 million for Scott McTominay, and the club turned it down because they wanted to keep him as part of the squad, I'd be worried, and I'd be just going into the office and slapping a few people around and saying, what are you actually thinking? What are you thinking? Because this isn't the way forward for United. We cannot be extending contracts of Scott McTominay. We can't. Anthony Wisdom says, that can't be true, Adam. What has Scott McTominay done in a United shirt to have such respect within the club? We've got to be moving him on if we want to progress. Well, he has got respect within the club. I know that. He is well thought after in Manchester United. It's just, while the Glazers have been here and he's just been able to stay and it's been accepted and the standards have been low, I could understand that this sort of news coming out would be right, but I personally can't see it being true. I'm with you. I don't think so. I think if Ineos want to move forward, they will see that Manchester United need to improve the playing staff, and working around Scott McTominay in the future is just not going to be good enough. It won't be good enough for United, and I don't expect to see him start. And again, like I said, maybe a sub appearance in 1 in every 3 is where Scott McTominay is for me. We shouldn't be relying on him, but he's there in case we need to just do something different in certain games. That's where I see Scott McTominay. If he's happy doing that, that's great. Scott McTominay worth the shirt. Never heard something so ridiculous. Dobby, go look at his stats, mate. We play with 10 men whenever Scott McTominay starts. It has to be fake news, says Gray. It's true, says Joe. Oh, God. I've started something within the chat now. Yeah, don't panic, people. It's not a definite. It's not a definite. I think, like we said, I don't think anyone's really got an issue if he doesn't play. But if there's an offer on the table to sell him and we don't sell him because we want him as another option, that's when you really have to start asking questions, I would say. But yeah, I want to move on to Rafa. Please give the video a like, guys. We're nearly at the 150 mark. Share the video as well. Sharing is caring. And obviously, do hit the subscribe button as well if you are tuning in for the first time. Yeah, moving on to Rafa and what's expected there. So we know that Manchester United have offered him a new deal. They're negotiating with him for a cut-down deal, but nothing has happened of that. Obviously, there's still plenty of time. But the longer it goes on and he isn't here, and he is here till the end of this window, which it does look like it is. Like I said at the top of the show, I think the main target for Ineos is to get back in the Champions League. That's worth more money than selling any players right now to cash in on what they've got or what value they've got. There is more in the Champions League for them. Obviously, there's more money in next year's Champions League as well. So I think financially, if the likes of Varane and Casemiro and these types of players can really turn up now from now until the end of the season and get us into the Champions League, I think that's worth more. I really do think that's worth more. So, yeah, I do think that's where Ineos are going with it. I think that's the target. I think, let's back up what we've said in terms of getting Manchester United back to the top. If we can somehow manage to get back up into the Champions League places, and that may be fifth, like I said, and that is still doable. If we can maybe get there this season, then we can start properly in the summer with proper financial projections and not working off a Europa League or Europa Conference League budget. I don't think that's enough, and I think it will hamper us. And then we will start seeing an exodus in the summer. Like I said, I think if United don't make the Champions League, I think we'll see some big moves from United in the summer. And I think we'll see some losses, transfer fee-wise. But I don't think that they're looking at it in that way anymore. I think they're looking at it from the sporting side. And if they're going to back up their words, then they're going to have to take cut-down price offers for the likes of Sancho, Antony, players like this. This is where we are now with Ineos. If it is going to be about football, then I feel like they need to show that off the pitch as well, and that comes in getting players out the door. Like we said, the five things that Berardi has to do at United, top of that list was selling players. And selling players at whatever price you can get, not stupid, inflated expectation prices because you pay stupid money for the footballer. Doesn't mean that someone else is going to. Take a loss, get the player out, and we go again. Honestly, I think Palestre, Garnacho, players like this that have hardly cost the club anything are outperforming the likes of Sancho, Rashford and Antony this season. And you add the valuation up of Sancho, Antony and Rashford and compare that to the likes of Palestre and Garnacho, it's night and day. Big money signings don't necessarily mean that you are improving your team. Good signings, recruited signings, scouted out players, that's what improves your team because it benefits them. Like we said before, we all been moaning about how much money Erik ten Hag has spent. It's not about what he spent. That's not the big issue. It's about what he could have spent it on instead of the players that he brought in for that money. So, yeah, everyone always says to me he's not the one that negotiates the price. No, he's not. But he wanted Antony. He wanted Mount. He wanted Onana. And right now you could say all of them have failed signings because I don't see how much game time Mount's going to get from now until the end of the season. If Ten Hag is gone before Mason... Well, he is going to be gone before Mason Mount because of his contract, but you can see what I mean. It's like all of his signings then are just falling into line, which has failed Manchester United previously, which is manager after manager's summers because they've had all the control in the market and now other managers coming in and having to deal with them players who don't like the new regime. Martial, Sancho, Ronaldo, all of these players all fall into that category. And the lack of professionalism is ridiculous. But to go back to what I was saying there, Manchester United keeping hold of Varane till the end of the summer, then he goes for free. I can totally see that happening. I can. I think it's easier and cost-effective wise. The big wage has gone in the summer. And if he helps United get back in the Champions League, then that's worth more in the long run for Manchester United. And it does help with financial fair play more. I think how much United can actually get together transfer fee-wise for some of these deadwood failures compared to what we could get in the Champions League. That'll be an interesting one. But yeah, another player with masses of experience, another former Real Madrid player alongside Varane and Casemiro. His people have been talking, and that is a certain Mr. Karim Benzema. Benzema to Manchester United. The story coming out today and the update on him is Karim Benzema's entourage have denied claims that the Frenchman is seeking an exit from Al Ittihad. I get all of the Saudi names like tongue-tied me, but Al Ittihad. However, should the former Real Madrid forward leave, Manchester United could be a viable option. That is via L'Equipe, so take it with what you want. Pinch of salt is what I would recommend. But Benzema in for the rest of the season, I think it's worth a poll. Most people are giving Erik ten Hag an extra year on our latest poll. We're going to do another one right now regarding Benzema. It's going to be quite straightforward. Hang on a minute, I've just got some news just coming through right now. Right, okay, so an update we've got right now on Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial has completed a successful surgery to address a groin complaint and will be out of action for another 10 weeks. Oh, God, Tony. Oh, what is the point in you, mate? Honestly, what is the point? So we're not going to see Martial until March. Right in line with when the next international break comes. Actually, by the time Anthony Martial comes back from that 10-week recruitment after his surgery, Erik ten Hag could be out of a job. It doesn't matter at all. But oh my God, Anthony Martial, that's the news just coming out right now. He has gone and had surgery and he will be out for another 10 weeks. Minor surgery, they said. Minor surgery. And we've not seen the guy for 6 weeks and now he's off for another 10. So yeah, thanks for your 4 months, Martial. Jesus, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. Oh, God. I'm just going to put the Benzema. Benzema for 6 months. Yes or no? Poll is up right now, everybody. 150 likes in the bag, guys. Get your thoughts in on Martial as well, guys. But yeah, that is the news coming out. I'm just going to double check that right now. Just to make sure, yeah, official. Martial has completed successful surgery to address a groin complaint, which apparently wasn't that bad, and will be out of action for about 10 weeks. In Martial time, that's 3 months. So out of action for 10 weeks, then coming back to training. He struggles with his fitness anyway. He's been missing for 6 weeks. It's another 4 months. Man, it's just pathetic. See you later. That's Martial done and dusted anyway. That puts that to bed. I don't think we'll see Martial in the United shirt under Ten Hag again, personally. I just don't think we will. Martial is one of the biggest regrets this football club, I feel, will have ever made. He is, full on. That's just how I feel about him. That's my own opinion. Yes, you may disagree with that, but Martial, for me, has been a disaster. Apart from his first couple of seasons under Van Gaal, that is, oh God, it just sums everything up about him. What was the words that was said? He epitomises everything that has been wrong with Manchester United over the last 10 years. He is the pin-up boy for Manchester United. That is Anthony Martial. $250,000 a week, never there, always injured, moping, moaning. Didn't like it, spat his dummy out numerous times because he didn't like what certain managers were doing, but kept on by the football club against the will of every single manager that's had him. And I just feel like he is, like the statement said, one of the biggest regrets this football club will have ever made. I think we've gone backwards because of him. Not just him alone, but the fact that he has got that big wage and other players around him are looking at him going, well, he's not playing, he's earning this. So my client, this is the agent talking for the player, my client is there every week, he's training every week, he's performing better than him, so he should be on X amount of money. And this is where you cannot go in on the likes of Scott McTominay. No matter how bad you think he is, He's one of the lowest earners at the football club. And you've got people like Anthony Martial, who Scott McTominay puts to absolute shame. He really does. You know what? You'd take Scott McTominay and his professionalism all day long over the talent that Martial is. Do you know what? Give me Scott McTominay any day of the week ahead of Anthony Martial. That he's just a different level of professionalism for me. He hasn't got the talent and he's never going to be that brilliant player. But I think it's perfect timing for Ineos coming in. It's going to bring to an end the era of the Martials, the Pogbas, the Sanchos and everything else. I think it is complete clear house. When you look at the story of Martial there, how the football club are arguing against the agent as to saying when he actually does need surgery. How come it's took Manchester United's medical team this long to actually say that he needs to go under the knife? It's been 6 weeks since he played, and then you've come to this decision now simply because his agent kicked up a stink. It's not right. It really isn't right. And Martial, right now, where's your head at, Tony? Like, what do you want from your career? Like, yeah, you can bemoan injuries and say he's been hard done to and everything like that, but you don't talk to anyone. You do no media duties. You don't help yourself whatsoever. You kick up a stink constantly. Your attitude and your body language stinks. And you're seen as one of the senior players at the football club. Thank God the likes of Garnacho, Mainu, all these players coming through have just looked at you and gone, yeah, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be like that. You are an absolute disgrace to the shirt, in my opinion. And you can go in on me all you want and say I'm being harsh on him, but yeah, give me Scott McTominay any day of the week over Martial. That's how I'll leave Martial. Guy, oh, God. What a waste of time. What a waste of money. The song was right from the start, wasn't it? 2 seasons. We all had hope. I had hope with him, but yeah. Yeah, and you got people moaning. Yeah. It's like the numbers Mason there with his comments. And everyone's a comment. Listen, everyone's got their opinions on certain players, but I just want to put this as an example right now. So Bruno needs to be considered. He has hit nowhere near his form in the first few seasons, and he's nearing 30. See, Bruno Fernandes gets all of the stick under the sun. But you know what? Again, professional-wise, I'd take him every day of the week over someone like Martial. I really would. You just cannot work with players like Martial. It doesn't work. He went out on loan, and it was an even bigger epic fail when he went to Sevilla. And that tells you everything. That tells you everything about the man and about his attitude to football. He is thinking about the money. What was it his entourage came out with? Or someone from the club, or someone said something, didn't they, about Martial when he went... he wants to now commit to helping the club from now until the end of the season. He isn't going to go anywhere in January. Well, let's just break that down and just bring out the truth in that statement. Really, what he was saying there was, look, he's got an injury. We're not telling anyone. We don't care because he's earning great money, and we're just going to see this out with him sat there with his feet up in his luxury mansion where he's been getting 250 grand a week from the club paying for it until the end of the season. Then we'll probably get a big signing on fee in the summer because he's coming on a free transfer. Modern day footballers, right there. I'm not saying that's all of them, by the way, but there's a big chunk of them that are like that right now. I mean, get in the chat. Guys, shoot me down in the chat right now if I'm talking crap about Martial. Don't just go agreeing with me. I want you to come back at me and add some context to your argument. Even if you're watching later and you want to comment on the video, tell me I'm wrong about Martial. Convince me otherwise that he's been harshly treated. He's not been fair. He's been unlucky. Tell me, why is every single manager under the sun not playing him or not happy with him? Every single one that he's worked with, apart from Van Gaal. But you know what? That's about being a professional footballer. The manager that you really did like and played well under is gone. So what are you going to do? You're going to knuckle down and make it happen again, be a proper pro? Or are you going to spit your dummy out and be a slapped ass? It was the latter, wasn't it, Tony? Martial has had more surgeries than $6 million man, and he's still not got nuclear-powered bionic limbs. Yeah, 250. That was from DJ John. Thanks, Sim says 250 a week. That's 8 years of wages, earning 30k a year. Yep. At least McTominay has got heart, says Eamon. Yep, exactly. That's what I was saying. Calamity Jones says McTominay with laughing. Yeah, I would take McTominay over him. Martial at least scored in the FA Cup final for us. What has Phil Jones done? Martial, didn't he score in the semi-final, not the final? I think that's right. That was against Everton. Liam says, why do you only seem to buy crocked French players? Nearly all of them we buy are injury plagued. Yeah, Pogba was a nightmare with injuries, wasn't he, as well? Jones cleared an attack with his head whilst taking a nap. Comparing Phil Jones to Anthony Martial now. Injury-wise, he's catching up with Philly, isn't he? He is. Adam, for yours and everyone else's mental health, we should just forget Martial exists. Yep. Get him away from this club. Shaw turning into Phil Jones, injured more than he plays. Time we went to. So Tony has got exactly what he needs from his career. A big payday from Manchester United. Michelle, Erik ten Hag has cost so many points because he's falling out with players. If he can fall out with Varane, Benzema and Nuno sacked because he fell out with him, I think that should have been a comma in there somewhere. He has fallen out with the new manager as well. Basically saying that he falls out with too many players and it's his fault. Martial getting a 10-week groin rub, says Stephen. Martial is after Darren Anderton's nickname. You don't need to win trophies to have a buzz at United, says Alien. Mike Fergus, I agree. Adam. Morning, Adam. Are we getting a spine of a structure sorted? CEO, Director of Football and proper men on the board. I hope the results improve now. The board situation has calmed down. This is the thing in terms of this. What's happening off the pitch is great, but it's going to have no impact on what's going on the pitch right now straight away. It's going to have zero impact. And this is why the pressure is on Ten Hag. So let's see what he brings. Let's see what he brings with the pressure above him right now. But guys, yeah, we've gone over a little bit today, but that's fine. Thank you so much for tuning in. All super chats, all of your likes. We're just creeping up to the 200 mark. So if everyone in the chat right now could just give the video a like, let's get up to that 200 just as we're finishing up. I just want to say thank you. All your comments have been bang on the money today. Doesn't always have to agree with me. Just add context to it. Get your point across. I will try and get through some of the comments when it goes up on the video later. So if I haven't read out your live comment, get onto the comment section on the video on YouTube when it drops as well. But guys, for this morning, that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. I will see you later on this afternoon, 6:30 tonight. And then tomorrow's content, well, I'll talk more about tomorrow's content, which is a little bit different when the show is on later on tonight as well. But for now, guys, make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you're tuning in for the first time. Give the video a little bit of a like on your way out as well, and that'll be fine and dandy. I'll see you all at 6:30 tonight. See you later, everyone.